Hi, welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. It's feeling very, very springy now. The days are getting that little bit longer. In fact, I'm waking up before my alarm now because it is bright in the mornings. There are lots of birds chirping. We're getting lots of rosellas sitting, uh, trying to get little grains and everything from the grass. So it's a really nice time of year here on the farm. The wattles are all blooming, flowers are starting to bloom. Um, there's also blue wrens coming as well. So all of the sort of warmer weather birds. And the only issue is that we all still haven't had a lot of rain. So the grass is still not very long. The dams are not very full. The tanks are not very full. But the weather is starting to feel really, really nice. What we'd like, and this is farmers or people who live in rural areas wanting the weather to be just perfect. It would be lovely to have nice sunny days and for it to rain every night. That would just be ideal. But we are also getting some awful wind at the moment. So bad that a tree near our house fell. It wasn't a big tree, so it didn't cause any damage to the house or anything. In fact, it fell away from the house, but it did fall on our septic tank. So we were a little concerned that it might have done some damage. So Adam got in pretty much straight away and I helped him to chop the tree off the top of the tank. Did a little bit of a look. It hasn't been cracked or damaged at all. So that's really good news, but we got all of the weight off it. So now we have this weird random stump and a big like flap of dirt just sitting beside our driveway. We are going to have to do a bit of a scan of the paddocks and the perimeter because it's been windy again today. So hopefully we haven't lost any more trees. Something about the change in the weather this season in particular has made me want to do some cleaning up. So I've started going through clothes, throwing out things that I didn't wear over the winter, and going through linen and towels and getting rid of things that I haven't used, um, trying to reduce my clutter and make things a little bit easier to put away. I think I'll be doing some cleaning of the windows over the school holidays and some sweeping of cobwebs outside, all of those kind of real like classic spring cleaning kind of jobs. I find that more and more I want to have things put away in a place, and I've been working really hard at doing that. It makes everything so much easier. I find that the thing that I have out the most is actually my knitting. I end up with like 4 or 5 bags of knitting kind of sitting on the floor next to where I sit and knit. So if I can keep everything else nice and tidy, then I feel like that's my little indulgence. This week has gone super quick. Today is the last day of term for those that have kids at school or anyone who, oh, I've got a weird sunspot on me. That's light shining through. I'm not exactly sure where it's coming from. It looks like I'm burning. Um, oh, wait, maybe I can. I might try and close a door and see if that's going to help. Hang on. That's not quite as big as it was before. It's a little bit better. What was I saying? Um, yeah. So end of term today for those that work at a school or have kids at school. It's been a long term. We had our English Year 12 practice exam today. I have next week off, and then I will be in at school the following week for the rest of the Year 12 practice exams. So only a little bit of time off, but I'm really looking forward to the week because it has been super, super busy. Just an update on the haircut. As you can see, I think I've settled into it. It took me a couple of times styling it myself. I do have to, I don't know how she straightened it before because it was terrible, my fringe, but it's much better now. I'm finding that it's sitting quite nicely across the front. I'm just going to keep sort of playing with it a little bit. It probably needs a little bit more in the middle there, but I'm working on it and I feel like it's much better now that I've settled into it a little bit. Last week was the Romsey All About Fibre and Yarn Market. Thank you if you came and said hi. It was a lovely day. Lots of like-minded people to chat with, lots of good stall holders, lots of good visitors, and I had a really good day. I now have to do quite a lot of re-dyeing, especially of my wispy lace base. There was lots of requests for the wispy lace yarn this past weekend in quite a number of colours. So I am going to get dyeing on that in my week off, as well as getting some more batches of Christmas yarn done. I've had some more pre-orders come in, so I'm working on those. I've got another market coming up in October, and then another in November, and then another in December. So one a month. So I will be making sure to get my yarn colours and bases back restocked for each of those. First to what I'm wearing this week. This is the Tolster Tee by Rebecca Clow of the Crayabea. It is out of my own yarn in my Christmas colorways from last year. So I used the pink was actually one of the mini skeins, but I grabbed a full skein for myself, and it's in the sorbet. This was the Christmas main color in bright and, well, no, merry and bright. And the blue was crush, the green was evergreen, and the yellow was limoncello. These colors are no longer available. They were limited for Christmas last year. I have a small amount of the merry and bright left. I think only on the Sparkle DK, which I will be bringing to the Templestowe All About Fibre and Yarn Christmas market. I've made 2 Tolster tees. This was the second one I made, and I absolutely love it. The stripes were really fun, and it's a really good fit. So it's nice to be able to put on a short sleeve t-shirt this afternoon. My goodness, that sun is really bad. I don't normally record this late in the afternoon. So yeah, the sun's in a spot that I'm not used to, so sorry about that. All right, now to my knitting. I have 3 active projects on the needles. The first, I've literally only just cast on, and I did choose to cast on the Wattle by Vera Velamaki, but all I've done is the cast on row, the first row, and put in my stitch markers for the pattern repeats. And then I remembered that I needed to get some other knitting done, so I put this on hold. But this will be one of my more thoughtful projects because there are pattern repeats and there is patterning every row. I'm knitting it out of the Fluff and Nonsense Yak singles in the Sage Advice colorway. So hopefully, being on holiday this coming week, I will get a little bit of this done. The other project that you've seen before is my winter song top out of the Sky Sail Belgian linen merino blend from Pirate Pearls in the My Lover's Eyes colorway. I've just been working around and around on the body. I said to you last week that I needed to probably put it onto a cable and try it on. I haven't done that yet. So, but that will be something that I can get to this week as well. So it's got a beautiful little cable detail on the hem, and then it's worked up, and then there's cabling across the front. And I think I'm going to do a 3/4 or half sleeve on this one to make it a sort of a spring autumn kind of top rather than a jumper. And the new thing that I've been working on is that I remembered that I have some baby knits that I need to get done. So I pulled out the yarn that I bought from Spotlight, and I have cast on for that. So I'm using the Four Seasons Pure Merino 8-ply wool I'm using the colours, does it say on here? Hydrangea, which is a light purple. And I'm using pomegranate. And I'm making a baby sleeping bag. So I'm making this here. So I'm using the pomegranate, the darker color for the trim, and I'm using the hydrangea for the body. I hope you can't hear that. The wind is really, really strong. It is making the roof vibrate and the walls creak here in the shed. So yeah, it's just gone a little bit crazy. And now the sun's gone behind a cloud and it doesn't look like I've got a hole being burnt in me. Weird. So I am up to the raglan shaping on the back. I've just started the shaping there. So I need to decrease down a little bit more, then put this on hold, then do the front the same, and then attach it. And then I think I pick up the sleeves. I don't know if I knit the sleeves flat or in the round. I don't remember. I have knit this twice before, but a long time ago. It's rolling quite a lot because it's all stockinette, but it is actually quite wide. So I'm making the 3-month size. So I'm going to make this, and then I'm going to make matching booties. Not the ones, oh no, there aren't any booties in the pattern. I'm not going to make the hat and the mitts that go with this, I don't think. I might, but I do have another baby booty pattern that I really like, so I'll probably knit that. Oh, this is what the book that it's out of. And I'd like to make the aviatrix hat because it is nice and round on the head, and it has a tie underneath the chin so it can stay on. So I'll be working on these baby knits over the holidays as the nice mindless project to get them done, because I need to give them to the recipient before the end of next term. So that's all I've been working on. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.